everyone, I'm Judith Jones, food and travel editor of the Gourmet Travelista, and today I'm taking you to my British roots. That's right, I'm going to be showing you the most indulgent dish that you will ever try, beef Wellington. What is that, you're all saying? Well, I am going to show you exactly what it is. It's 3/4 cups of water. We have 17.5 ounces of puff pastry, which we've thawed out. We have 1.5 teaspoons of chopped parsley. We have 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme. We have 2 tablespoons of butter. We have 2 tablespoons of pâté. We have 1 bay leaf, 1 tablespoon of finely chopped shallots. We have 1 egg white, which we've beaten. We have 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of dried marjoram. We have 1/3 cup of red wine and 1/2 teaspoon of instant beef bouillon granules. And right here we have 2 steaks, about 4 ounces each, of beef tenderloin. Delicious. So let's get the party started, shall we? So first things first, we are gonna mix up our herbs. So let's get our salt, our pepper, and our marjoram in there, and that is going to be our nice seasoning for the beef. So we'll just mix that up a little bit, okay, and then we'll get our beef and we'll just season our steaks with this. Very nice, both sides, like so. Now sometimes in England we actually cook the whole beef tenderloin and we wrap it in puff pastry. But today we're just going to be doing individual ones, 2 nice little steaks. So for those of you who don't know what a beef Wellington is, it's basically beef tenderloin smothered in pâté, wrapped in puff pastry and baked. That's what it is. Delicious and yes, very indulgent. So now that we have our steaks seasoned, we're going to get our pâté and we're going to spread on half of it on each steak. So we might have to use our hands ever so slightly because depending on the consistency of your pâté, this one's a little bit tougher. So choose the pâté of your choice, of course. If you prefer a foie gras, as I do, that works great. And we'll do a little bit more here. Now, a lot of people wonder, why call it a beef Wellington? Well, of course, the easy answer is that the Duke of Wellington in England loved it so much that they named it after him. But there's plenty of other stories too. One of them goes that a British chef, wanted to name it something because they only had the name in French, which was called bœuf en croûte. And they didn't want to name it the French version because obviously they were going through the Napoleonic Wars, British and the Brits and the French, so they came up with the name Wellington after the Duke, of course. And some people say that it just looks like a military boot that the Duke of Wellington wore. So there you go, that's all your stories, you choose one of them. Now let's get our pastry. So we've cut our pastry into 2 sections. We've just lie them flat, stretch them out a little bit, because what we're going to do now is place our steaks pâté side down on top of our pastry. And we're going to do a nice little gift wrapping session now, and we're just going to cover our steaks as best we can. Stretch your pastry out if you need to, over the steak. Oh, that's right. Oh, lovely. Just like that. Give it a nice coating like that. If you have any excess pastry, you can snip that off, but this one's just fine like this. Same goes with this steak. Pâté side down. Do a nice little fold both ways. Whew, and that. I mean, if you're watching your weight, it's not the best one to do, I would suggest. All right, we'll cover that up. We can just enclose the endings with our pastry like so. And doesn't that look great already? Okay, we have our baking dish, which we've greased with butter. And what we're gonna do now is place our beef Wellingtons with our trimmed, with our pastry side that we've done, side down, like so. We'll bring it onto the board right here. And now we're gonna get our baster brush, get our egg white mixture, and we're just gonna baste it over the top so it will stay nice and moist so the pastry won't burn. So make sure we've got a nice amount of egg mixture all over that. And on the sides. Great, all right, so now that's all basted nicely. We are gonna pop that in the oven. Now we preheated our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is gonna go in for 15 minutes. So while our beef Wellington is cooking up there in the oven, we're gonna put together a nice sauce to have with it. So we're gonna get a little saucepan and we're gonna put it to a medium heat, and we're gonna add in our water. Our red wine, our shallots go in there as well, our lovely thyme, it's going to give it a great flavor, our granules, beef granules are in there, and of course our bay leaf goes in there as well. So we're going to give that a quick stir. We're gonna bring it to the boil, and then we're gonna let it simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so while that's simmering there, I'm gonna combine my 2 tablespoons of butter in there. Now, I didn't mention it earlier, but I have some flour to thicken up our gravy here. So we have 1 tablespoon of flour, which is gonna go in with our butter. All-purpose flour is great. And we're just gonna mix it in. Actually, let's get a spoon, even better. Mix it in all together. Try and get your butter nice and soft before you start. Otherwise, you can use margarine too. So that's just gonna be a nice little mixture to get our sauce thick. So we've taken our beef Wellington out of the oven. They should be about medium rare if they've been in there for about 15 minutes, and they just look spectacular. This is a very excited face. They're golden, they're crispy, and they smell great. Wonderful. So we're just gonna let them rest for a little bit right there. We'll go back to our sauce. Our red wine sauce is simmering there. So now it's time to add in our butter flour mixture. And we're gonna put that in there and stir that up until it gets nice and thick. So keep stirring there. Let it thicken up a little, and now we can add in our parsley too, which is just going to give a really nice, fresh, subtle bite. Oh, that looks good. Now, at this point, let's not forget to take out our bay leaf, because we don't want to be eating that. So we'll take it out, discard that, but that's just giving it a really nice flavor. So that's thickening up, really, really beautiful. Give it 1 minute more. Lovely, so we can take that off the heat. We'll pour it into our lovely dish here. So that's our red wine sauce. So as you can see, our beef Wellington is done fantastically, nice and golden brown right there, ready to serve up. All you need to do is put a little drizzle of our red wine gravy on top, and that's it. If the Duke was here himself, he would be very proud. That's how you make your individual beef Wellington. Thanks for watching today, everyone, and make sure to subscribe to our website to watch plenty of other fantastic videos. And if you have any email requests, you can email requests@mahalo.com and we'll be sure to answer any questions and queries you might have.